Every major disease your doctor has warned you about has one thing in common: heart disease, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's, arthritis, cancer, obesity. They are all driven by the same underlying cellular process, not by bad luck, not by genetics alone, by chronic inflammation, specifically by one cellular switch that your body uses to turn inflammation on. And that switch has a name: NF-κB, nuclear factor kappa B. When NF-κB is working correctly, it is one of the most important protective mechanisms in your body. It turns on when you are injured or infected. It signals immune cells to rush to the problem. It drives the healing response. And then it turns off. Inflammation resolves, healing completes, your body returns to balance. But here is what happens in the modern human body fed on processed food, chronic stress, poor sleep, and environmental toxins. NF-κB stops turning off. It stays on, permanently, silently, sending a continuous inflammation signal to every cell in your body. Not a healing inflammation, a damaging one that research now confirms drives the development and progression of virtually every chronic disease known to medicine. Welcome to Cellfresco. One belief drives everything we do here. Every cell has a healing food. Most nutrition advice focuses on what to eat. We focus on what your food says to your cells, because every meal you eat sends a signal. Some signals switch NF-κB on, others switch it off, and understanding which is which may be one of the most important things you ever learn about your health. Today we go inside NF-κB, what it is, how it gets stuck in the on position, what that means for every organ in your body, and the specific foods that research suggests may send the cellular signals to switch it off. Here is exactly what we will cover today. First, the research. What scientists now understand about NF-κB and its role in chronic disease at the cellular level. Second, 3 specific cellular problems that chronically activated NF-κB may be creating in your body simultaneously. Third, 3 specific foods and the cellular mechanisms by which studies indicate they may deliver counter-signals to each problem. Fourth, what to eliminate, the dietary inputs that appear to keep NF-κB permanently switched on and why. And finally, your daily protocol and action plan. Now the story. Inside every one of your cells there is a protein complex called NF-κB sitting quietly in the cytoplasm, bound to an inhibitor protein called IKB. In this state, NF-κB is inactive. Your cells are calm. Inflammation is off. But when your body detects a threat, whether a bacterial infection, physical injury, or oxidative stress, a signaling cascade begins. The IKB kinase complex, IKK, is activated. It phosphorylates the IKB inhibitor protein, marking it for destruction. IKB is degraded. NF-κB is liberated. It travels from the cytoplasm into the nucleus of your cell. Inside the nucleus, it binds to DNA and switches on the genes for dozens of inflammatory proteins. TNF-alpha, IL-6, IL-1-beta, COX-2. These are the molecules that create inflammation, that recruit immune cells, that generate heat, swelling, pain, and the cellular changes of an acute immune response. This is exactly what is supposed to happen when you are fighting an infection or healing a wound. It is one of the most elegant survival mechanisms in the human body. But research published in Springer Nature and confirmed by the American College of Cardiology confirms that in the modern environment, NF-κB is being activated continuously by inputs that were never present at this scale in human evolutionary history. Ultra-processed food, refined sugar, industrial seed oils, chronic sleep deprivation, psychological stress without physical resolution, environmental toxins. Each one of these inputs independently activates the IKK complex. Each one phosphorylates IKB. Each one liberates NF-κB, and in a body exposed to all of them simultaneously, the NF-κB switch is effectively jammed in the on position. The result is what researchers describe as chronic, low-grade systemic inflammation, not the acute inflammation of a healing wound. A silent, permanent, damaging inflammation signal being sent to every cell in your body, every day, for years. And the downstream consequences are now well documented. Cellular problem 1. Chronically activated NF-κB may be damaging your blood vessels. Research published by the American College of Cardiology's 2025 scientific statement on inflammation and cardiovascular disease confirmed that chronic low-grade inflammation, driven by NF-κB pathway activation, plays a pivotal role in atherosclerotic plaque formation, progression, and rupture. When NF-κB is chronically active in endothelial cells, the cells lining your blood vessels, it may upregulate adhesion molecules that recruit inflammatory cells into the arterial wall. These cells may consume oxidized cholesterol and transform into what researchers call foam cells. The accumulation of foam cells forms arterial plaques, and these plaques are the foundation of heart attack and stroke risk. Research also confirms that chronically activated NF-κB in endothelial cells may impair the production of nitric oxide, the molecule that keeps blood vessels relaxed and flexible. As nitric oxide production falls, blood pressure may rise, arterial stiffness may increase, and the cardiovascular consequences of chronic inflammation begin to compound. Cellular problem 2. Chronically activated NF-κB may be accelerating cellular aging throughout your body. Research confirms that NF-κB activation promotes what scientists call the senescence-associated secretory phenotype, or SASP. As cells age, they can enter a state called cellular senescence, in which they stop dividing. In small numbers, this is normal, but chronically activated NF-κB may accelerate senescence and cause these senescent cells to release a toxic cocktail of inflammatory molecules that damage surrounding healthy tissue. This process has been linked in research to accelerated aging of skin, joints, organs, and the brain. Chronically active NF-κB may be aging your cells faster than they should be aging. Cellular problem 3. Chronically activated NF-κB may be impairing your insulin signaling. Research confirms that NF-κB activation in fat cells, liver cells, and muscle cells may impair insulin receptor signaling by promoting the production of inflammatory molecules that interfere with the insulin cascade. This is the same mechanism we explored in the context of prediabetes and weight gain. Chronic NF-κB activation may be one of the primary cellular bridges between chronic inflammation and metabolic disease. A chronically inflamed cell is frequently also an insulin-resistant cell. 3 systems, 3 cellular consequences, all driven by the same jam switch, and 3 specific foods that research suggests may help switch it off. Food 1. Turmeric. The NF-κB direct suppression signal. Turmeric contains curcumin, and curcumin is one of the most extensively researched natural compounds in relation to NF-κB pathway modulation. Studies indicate that curcumin can inhibit the IKK complex, the enzyme responsible for activating NF-κB by targeting IKB for degradation. By inhibiting IKK activity, curcumin appears to prevent the liberation of NF-κB from its inhibitor protein, keeping it in the cytoplasm and away from the nucleus where it switches on inflammatory genes. Multiple clinical and laboratory studies have shown that curcumin can reduce markers of NF-kappa-B activation, including CRP, TNF-alpha, IL-6, and IL-1-beta. And these are not obscure research findings. The anti-inflammatory properties of turmeric and curcumin are among the most replicated findings in nutritional science. Every teaspoon of turmeric with black pepper delivers curcumin, a compound that studies indicate can help keep NF-κB away from the inflammatory genes it uses to drive chronic disease. 1 teaspoon of turmeric with black pepper every single day, consumed with food or warm water. Your NF-κB direct suppression protocol. Food 2. Fatty fish. The inflammatory cytokine reduction signal. Even when NF-κB is activated, the downstream damage it causes depends on the inflammatory molecules it produces. And the single most powerful dietary tool for reducing the production of those inflammatory molecules is fatty fish, particularly salmon, sardines, and mackerel. Fatty fish contains EPA and DHA omega-3 fatty acids. EPA and DHA have been shown to work at multiple points in the NF-κB inflammatory cascade. They compete with arachidonic acid, the omega-6 fatty acid that NF-κB uses to produce the most damaging inflammatory molecules, including prostaglandins and leukotrienes. They appear to reduce the production of TNF-alpha and IL-6 from activated immune cells. And DHA in particular may be converted in the body to molecules called resolvins and protectins that appear to actively signal the resolution of inflammation, helping to switch NF-κB back off. Research from the American College of Cardiology's 2025 inflammation statement confirmed that omega-3 fatty acids demonstrate anti-inflammatory effects through multiple mechanisms, including free radical scavenging and reduction of pro-inflammatory cytokine production. Every serving of fatty fish delivers EPA and DHA, compounds that appear to both reduce the inflammatory molecules NF-κB produces and actively signal the body to resolve the inflammatory process. Salmon, sardines, or mackerel 3 times per week. Your inflammatory cytokine reduction protocol. Food 3. Green tea, the cellular oxidative stress signal. One of the most powerful triggers of NF-κB activation is oxidative stress. When your cells produce more reactive oxygen species than your antioxidant systems can neutralize, The oxidative stress directly activates the IKK complex, liberating NF-κB and driving the inflammatory cascade. Breaking this oxidative stress trigger is therefore one of the most powerful ways to reduce chronic NF-κB activation. Green tea contains EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate. EGCG has been shown to reduce cellular oxidative stress by activating the NRF2 pathway, the master regulator of your cellular antioxidant response. When NRF2 is activated, it upregulates dozens of antioxidant enzymes, including superoxide dismutase, catalase, and glutathione peroxidase. These enzymes neutralize the reactive oxygen species that were triggering NF-κB activation in the first place. EGCG also appears to inhibit certain components of the NF-κB activation pathway, providing a dual mechanism of reducing both the oxidative trigger and the pathway activation itself. 2 to 3 cups of green tea every day, brewed from quality loose leaf or tea bags without sugar. Your cellular oxidative stress reduction protocol. Now your daily protocol: 3 foods, 3 cellular signals, every day. Morning, 1 cup of green tea before or with breakfast. Your cellular oxidative stress reduction signal: NRF2 activated, antioxidant response engaged, NF-κB oxidative trigger reduced. With any meal. 1 teaspoon of turmeric with black pepper. Your NF-κB direct suppression signal: IKK inhibited, inflammatory gene activation reduced. 3 times per week. Salmon, sardines, or mackerel is your main protein. Your inflammatory cytokine reduction signal: TNF-alpha, IL-6, and prostaglandin production reduced. Resolution signaling activated. What to eliminate and why each one may be keeping your NF-κB permanently switched on. Sugar and refined carbohydrates can activate NF-κB through multiple pathways including oxidative stress, advanced glycation end products, and inflammatory cytokine production. Ultra-processed foods contain industrial seed oils rich in omega-6 arachidonic acid that fuel the most damaging downstream products of NF-κB activation. Chronic psychological stress activates the same IKK pathway through cortisol and catecholamine signaling. Poor sleep research confirms may significantly increase NF-κB activation, with even a single night of poor sleep measurably raising inflammatory markers. Alcohol in excess may directly activate NF-κB in liver cells. These are not simply unhealthy lifestyle choices. They are active NF-κB switches that may be maintaining the chronic inflammation you're trying to switch off. Your action plan: 3 cellular problems, 3 foods, 3 signals. Turmeric with black pepper every day, your NF-κB suppression signal. Fatty fish 3 times per week, your inflammatory cytokine reduction and resolution signal. Green tea every day, your oxidative stress reduction and NRF2 activation signal. Start tomorrow morning, green tea before breakfast. Turmeric with your first meal. Salmon for dinner this week. NF-κB is not your enemy. It is a switch that was designed to protect you. The problem is not the switch. The problem is that it has been jammed on by the inputs of modern life, and the foods above may help send the cellular signals to unjam it. 1 meal at a time. If this video changed how you understand inflammation at the cellular level, please give it a thumbs up. It helps more people find this channel, and it means everything to us. Subscribe to Cellfresco. Every cell has a healing food, and every week we show you exactly which one. Keep healing, keep thriving,